Hello. Moo. Uh, okay. There's Art, sort of. Hello, Art.
How you doing?
All right. Oh,
Barry's here.
Barry is here. I am here, and I have video. I'm on a different computer. So,
Did you ever figure out what happened?
no. Um, basically the good machine, the other machine, it has an all-in-one. It is basically a laptop
Yeah.
in desktop form. So it has a internal camera that you can turn on and off in BIOS, and of course it was enabled. Um, Dell recommended flashing the firmware, the BIOS firmware, which um, surprisingly was more complicated to do than it should have been, but it was also very out of date. So there were a lot of security updates. So it was a good thing I did anyway. But that didn't help. Um,
This is running Linux
yes,
Mint.
it is. I am running Linux Mint. Um, luckily, Dell, their newer systems, will let you update the firmware straight from pretty much from BIOS. You hit a couple of key combinations right as it boots, and stick a flash drive in, and it'll let you update. So you don't need anything special, except that the steps that they gave me were not the correct steps. So it it said something about the update process would restart after it started, after the machine restarted, and it didn't. I had to actually turn the machine off and then turn it back on to get the update to actually go into the actual update process. Very weird. I mean, one little
It sounds like Windows.
yeah, it's one little step that should have been on the website but wasn't. I mean, it's probably a miswording. You know how that is. But I was like, oh crap, my machine's locked up. It's froze up. So I turned it off, and when I turned it back on, the update process started, and I'm like, oh, okay. So, um, anyway, uh, ran the diagnostic tool that is built in. It says there was no webcam found. I took the back of the machine off to see if maybe a wire had gotten screwed up when I replaced the flash drive, the M2 drive. It all looked good. I unplugged it. I blew dust out, plugged it all back in. It's dead. it's I
The
have
camera, the camera's dead.
I have no idea what happened. Yes, the camera is dead.
Can you plug in an external camera? Do you have an external camera? You could plug
Well,
in a USB camera.
I I could. This machine is a newer machine, but weirdly they only have like 3 USB ports on it.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm using all three for various things. So I do have a little hub, but the hub gets overwhelmed and I have to sometimes unhook the hub.
Oh, really? Oh,
And yeah, that's kind of a weird. I mean, why would you this old machine I'm on has like 6 or 7 USB ports. And
uh-huh.
the machine before it had like 12 USB ports. Why would you give me a machine that only has 3 USB ports?
Is the camera that's on this machine that is not giving you video, is that camera a USB camera? Does it use one of the USB ports?
No, no. Um, it it actually, I when I took it apart and opened it up, it actually looks like it probably is a really high end Logitech camera, um, with a unique special cable attached to it. It is a USB camera, but of course it's not a USB port. They've replaced the USB, it's all internal. So it's
Yeah.
a little square connector. It's got, I think it had 16 pins to it, but only like 4 or 5 of them are being used. So, so
That's
it's
weird.
basically USB, but with a weird connector. Um, and
That
I did,
sounds like a hardware failure in the camera.
yeah, I did actually consider, um, taking that camera out, chopping the cable off, and hooking up an old USB cable to it just to see if it would work. But I decided not to because if I do that, I'm going to have a big hole in my system that I don't
Okay,
necessarily need a hole in the system.
I understand. Oh,
So
well, that's a real bummer.
so yeah,
How old is this machine?
I think I've had it for 2 years, and it's the AMD Ryzen. It's 6 core. It's a high end. I think it cost me $1,200, but it is well out of warranty now. So, and the stupid camera, they do sell a replacement camera, and it's $70 freaking, and I'm not spending $70 freaking on a camera.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
I'm like,
Well, just to make you feel good, the machine that I'm on today is running Linux Mint, what is it, 21.3. It I think the BIOS date on it is 2011 or 2012. And it's ancient hardware, but uh, it runs like a top. So
yeah,
I hate to say this, but I think I would obviously operate on the premise that the camera died an ugly death, and you need to just get a regular USB camera and
yeah.
adapt it.
Well, I do. Luckily I've got other machines. I just didn't switch last week because that would have been more of a pain.
Mhm.
Um, so this machine that I'm on now, I hadn't updated Zoom for over a year. So you know,
Really?
yeah. I once I got the new machine, I started using it because it was so much faster and better at processing the video and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped using this one, I had Zoom installed on it, but it was way out of date, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense because I haven't updated it. So, um, and then I've got two machines that are even older than this machine that both work rock solid. I mean, I've got machines I can use. It's just kind of sad that my good computer has a camera issue.
Yeah,
My my
that is
good computer.
that is a bummer.
You know,
Well, I'm running Linux Mint 21.3, which I think is the latest and greatest, unless you want to go into a development version. Ancient hardware.
yeah,
And by the way, I am running the latest um, Zoom version, which is 6.0.10.
yeah, yeah,
And knock wood, it seems to be running rock solid. I was nervous about upgrading because there was an upgrade in Zoom this last week. As a matter of fact, I think it was earlier this week. I think it was Monday or Tuesday.
okay,
And because I had kept downloading the version and the latest version, and they were all the same length down to the last byte.
right,
And I figured, well, they're all the same. But then, voila, this morning I downloaded it. It's a new size. So I'm running it, and it is 6.0.10. And then there's some other 4-digit number there as well.
yeah.
But it seems to be running fine.
I updated I updated last night, so I'm probably
Okay.
running the same
Yeah,
version you are.
we're on the same. Well, I've got some new news.
Okay.
I finally said to myself, Spectrum is a POS. All right. So I got energetic. I guess on Saturday or Friday or Saturday, and I ordered Alta Fiber, and I thought that would be a couple of weeks before they get her. No, boy, they were out here this morning and installed it, including all the hardware. You know, new cable in from the street and a new fiber in from the street. The only thing they haven't done is bury the fiber. So it's laying across my front lawn, which a bunch of these yellow emergency, like cops put around
hmm
the crime areas, a bunch of those tied around the cable so the guy that mows the grass isn't going to mow the new cable. Well, hopefully
Hopefully,
not.
hopefully.
Well, he's a pretty good guy, so if you give him half a chance, he does a good job. So I'm sitting here on cable or on fiber. I don't know if you can see this or not,
Oh, yep.
and it is symmetrical.
Okay.
And the specs on it are um, 2 gig internet, symmetrical, $100 a month, guaranteed for 3 years.
Wow.
And I thought, first of all, the thing that lit my fire was symmetrical. I mean, frankly, this is the first offer I've ever had of symmetrical. And, well, I guess basically dial up was symmetrical.
Hmm.
You know,
It's the first modern offer.
yeah, first in the last 2 decades. So, so at any rate, and it's great if you're into gaming. It turns out symmetrical is ideal.
Yeah.
So
Nope.
I went for it, and they delivered.
Wow.
So I'm in my trial period on it, and within 10 days, 10 business days, they're supposed to come and bury the fiber.
Yeah, it's probably a different crew.
That's what I was told. Is it's a different crew. Basically, what the guy that did the installation today said, I'm way too expensive to dig ditches.
It took
So,
about 9 months
ten
for him to
days, they're
come bury
supposed to.
mine.
Do
Pardon?
what, Barry?
So it took him about 9 months to come bury mine.
Really?
Oh yeah. And
Huh.
we're gonna bury it all the way coming in the property, but then they only ended up burying it from the last pole to the house.
Oh, I'm not on poles here. Basically, we've got it in underground conduit coming up the street. It is, if you look at the house, there's a sidewalk on, and it's just like 6 inches back of the sidewalk. So I've got it to the front lot line. I just didn't have it into the house. And so they come out, installed it. I have my own whiz-bangy Asus router, and that I got per recommendation from Steve. And so basically, once he got all the mechanical stuff and through the wall and so forth and so on in place, it was just a matter of unplugging the cable modem and plugging from the router and just plugging the, I don't know what you call the fiber modem, but the equivalent of the fiber modem directly into my router, and bing, it came up. Like it took a while to heat up, meaning like 5 minutes. And
It had to negotiate all the fun stuff and verify that you were a customer and all that fun stuff.
I guess, but I mean, it was
And
it was
update.
it was a sit back and wait kind of a
Yeah.
thing. So
Well, that was kind of the same with when I got the AT&T thing, it had to verify and then it had to reboot and then it had to update. And it was about 5 minutes, maybe
yeah.
maybe 10 minutes. It didn't take long. It was long enough to go, oh, gotta do all this stuff.
Well, Alta Fiber, I think, is the same as AT&T now, isn't it?
Um I think
No.
they're associated with each other, aren't they? Somehow?
No.
No.
At any
Okay.
rate, they've uh, they've got an account for me, and we'll see how it goes.
Well,
But
that's very cool. You are in the fast lane now.
well, uh, 2 gigs up and 2 gigs down is fast. And what I discovered was this, of course, this was obvious in hindsight, but it wasn't obvious. I realized that, oh, that's great, and I've got 2 gigs to my router, which supposedly is a 2.5 gig router, but all the boxes in my house are are 1 gig. Okay, so I was pinging around different places and doing speed tests and so forth, and why is this thing not faster? And it occurred to me, none of the nicks in my boxes are anything beyond 1 gig. So
That's what I've got some old hardware here, that my old Cisco phone is only, I think it's a 10100.
really,
Yeah, it doesn't need to be anymore. It's a phone. I mean,
yeah, well, that's true. It's only doing audio.
but it's kind of what I said was I never see the speeds that I'm supposed to see when I had, you know, something faster. I mean, 300, 400, 500, that's fine. That's what my hardware seems to want to play at, and that's where I seem to be happy at. So would I like something faster? Probably, but my stuff is old enough that it doesn't really play well at the fast stuff. The new machine, the newest one, will go faster, but
What's the nick on that? Do you know?
I don't. I think it's a 1 gig though. Um,
Well,
I did. I, I don't know what AT&T has done. Barry might know. Barry might know. Something weird happens with the 5G on the 5 gigahertz band, not the 5G from the cell tower. The 5 gigahertz band for the Wi-Fi. I cannot download files. But if I switch over to the 2.4 gigahertz band, I can download all day long. It is the most bizarre thing I have ever seen in my life.
So the weird thing about 5G, and 5G usually is not, from what I've gathered, from what I've been studying, is it doesn't do data transfer on the old bandwidth. They use like somewhere between 11 and 20 gigahertz to do file transferring for data streaming. That's how you get the super high speed data transfer.
Okay.
So probably if you have if you're not getting real 5G, the 5 gigahertz is just communicates like a port session. So either your phone or the tower near you doesn't support 5G file negotiation, if I was to guess.
It's still weird. Because yeah, I'm with you. I hear what you're saying. And that may be what's happening because technically, according to AT&T, we do not have 5G cell service, even though we have 5G cell service here. I guess they don't let people on 5G with the routers yet. And I'm getting 4G, even though every speed test I've ever done has shown like 5 gig speeds. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I say that's what's weird about it. It's like, and that's I didn't even realize that the cell phones were using like 20 gigahertz bandwidth. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I was wondering how they got that kind of speed, because I did a talk at Christmas time or whatever on cell phone hacking, and that it really kind of was looking at all the different protocols, and the new 5G stuff actually goes up to 20 gigahertz, and I'm like, what the hell's this gigahertz crap?
Right.
So yeah, but it's like, because that bandwidth was never, to my understanding, allowed for civilian use, much more sold in a device. So yeah, but like 11 to 20 gigahertz is data transfer. So like if you hack the phone, like you can see keystrokes and people doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can't actually see the telemetry of the data transfers because all the digital data is being transferred at that higher bandwidth. So you can get like the voice recordings or, interfacing to a web page, but you can't see like you're saying file transfers or the phone telemetry because it's all in that higher gigahertz band.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta excuse myself, guys. My wife's having a problem.
Oh no.
Alrighty.
Hopefully she's all right.
Just a moment.
But yeah, it's weird, and I've just learned that if I really want to download something, to come over to this old machine and download. So I guess until they fully support the 5G here, I'm probably going to have problems like that.
Yeah, it's possible. I said I don't know. It's like some of it's technology. It's like Art was saying a minute ago. Is like now he's got 2G to his house.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have 2G on his interfaces, so it doesn't really do him any good. Now it would, if he's using like a half dozen Wi-Fi's in his Wi-Fi thing, and he's using his LAN at the same time because they can both connect at 1G at the same simultaneously.
Right.
Um, and if he VLANs out enough, then off that first switch or whatever, he can take advantage of it. But um, I told you guys last week, but like weekend before last, I was dinner with a dude from Alt Fiber, and they're talking about Alt Fiber is going to knock their speed up to 6 gig by the end of the year.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
Hey.
that's what they were telling me today too.
yeah, it's like I just bought a 2.5 gig router. It's like you're going to do 6 gig by January. It's like
It's time to buy more stuff.
well, like 10 gig ain't cheap. I don't
Right.
understand why it's not, but it's not.
It'll probably come down after more people adopted or
Yeah, well,
somewhere close.
but that's what I don't get is the surplus because of corporations have gone to 40 and 100G, so like the old 10 gig stuff should be dirt cheap in my book,
Right.
but it's still not. It's you're talking a couple $100 for NIC cards and you're talking $1,000 for a switch. You can get like a 4 or 8 port switch or something down to like $500 or $600 ordered on AliExpress or something, but that's basically going to break it out to a whole bunch of houses. But then the other concept too, from a home perspective, the hell are you going to do with 6G? I mean,
Host videos. That's what you're going to
Well,
with
I think
6G.
I think if you've got like 3 teenagers, it probably disappears pretty quick.
well, I mean, even at that even if you full bore 4K video both directions on one, that's what 150 meg. So
Yeah,
Not
well,
that much. It's closer to 30.
yeah, I mean,
that's what I was going to say here. I mean, Thea's here. She's playing video games. Yeah, but on the VR, Hattie's watching a movie. I'm video streaming, and I'm still getting decent speeds off of my router. I'm on basically a cell router.
Yeah.
What the heck do you need 6G for?
well, that's I don't even have that, and it was like I've got enough stuff coming down off my stupid torrent thing. It's like I need a hard drive another terabyte hard drive every weekend.
Right.
So at
Right.
6G, I just need it 3 times faster, right?
3 times faster. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to go that fast, it's just a money pit. You're just going to have to keep buying more and more stuff.
Well, but what are you transferring after the first hour? You're gonna be out of,
How much stuff can you watch?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got 16 terabytes of stuff, and guaranteed I
Oh.
can't watch all of it.
That's my point. Now, the interesting concept is, I guess, is if you could, start spinning up your own version of Netflix or start being data storage for your entire family for phone backups or,
Right.
make a small backup facility for small companies off site. I mean, you can start spinning up your own data centers,
Well-
I guess.
Even that, nope. Not unless you have a huge family. My phone backs up completely in about 60 gigs. Marla's iPhone, which has a lot more stuff, takes almost 100, but 10 people, 1 terabyte easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just talking timetable of how fast you can do it in.
Once you get the initial sync, everything else just kind of evens out to a pretty slow crawl.
Yeah.
Does it? I said I've never backed up a phone over it yet, so I don't know. I haven't got that fancy yet. So, but that's
Nextcloud works
that's
well.
it's on
Yeah.
the agenda for the rebuild.
Yeah, I just back up pictures and something else, and it's nothing. It syncs up in a couple of seconds and it's done. It but takes almost no bandwidth to do it.
Yeah, well, as I say, terabytes at a gig's what, 15, 20 minutes?
Mm,
But, yeah. So I found out that AT&T, while technically doesn't allow personal servers to be ran, they also don't monitor that stuff. And they only have it in their terms of service, apparently, if you're using a whole lot of bandwidth. So they will let you run a personal server for, as long as you're not a big user. And they won't care.
Saturate your bandwidth for 4
Yeah.
hours straight, and
Yeah.
you're probably fine.
Yeah, they don't even monitor it. Apparently, they only monitored if the bandwidth goes wacky. Apparently, so that is something that Spectrum didn't allow. Spectrum didn't want. You had to pay extra to get that feature from Spectrum.
Yeah, Spectrum also blocked you from using other people's DNS.
Yeah,
Spectrum just sucks.
Yeah, they were not happy when I changed DNS servers. So, they don't like Spectrum doesn't like VPNs. When I first started using the VPN, they balked about that for a while, and then finally just said, "Okay, everybody uses VPNs." But we in other news, we got Thea back for a couple more weeks. Kind of had a feeling that was going to happen, but so Thea's with us again, and my car's in the shop and has been for 2 weeks, and I really miss my car.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
a
one of
while.
your police cars?
It is my only police car.
Well, I thought you had 2 of them.
No, the other one had 300,000 miles on it and wasn't worth fixing, so it went to the
Scrapyard?
it went to the old police car heaven. Yes.
Okay.
I actually got decent money out of it. The guy's got it down in Cincinnati. He parts it out. He pulls parts off of and sells
Yeah.
parts. But I was happy. He towed it away and he gave me some money for it. So, but yeah, last Friday before, it's been there for 2 weeks on Friday. So last Friday, Friday.
So what's the
I
matter
don't know.
with it?
When it was really, really hot and, it was like up over 90, the car overheated and came out of the it's like the head unit, the manifold cover gasket
Hmm.
thingy. And it's been down at the shop. The guy knows what's wrong with it. He's told me a couple of times that he's just trying to figure out how to actually what the best way to fix it is. So hopefully it's not down there for very much longer because I really miss my car. I want a car. But Patty said, well, just go and buy another one. I don't want to do that either. So
So she's suggesting you go to a police auction and get another one?
I was looking at a couple of them that have recently ended, and you can get some stuff reasonable from Gov Deals. So you just have to be willing to go and pick it up and drive it and hope that what they are saying is true, that stuff runs. And
They had some nice chargers that just went this week.
yeah. What did the Chargers end up going for?
But that between 8 and 9,000.
Yeah, see, that's a little too much for me.
Well, a couple of them, I was shocked they were going that low, and it did. The thing that I thought was odd though is they didn't say how many miles it had. It said the hours of operation.
Yeah.
It said it had like 3,000 hours and 2,400 of it was idling. So I figured that couldn't have been too high on mileage, but I don't know how hard idling is on them.
Idling is not good.
Yeah.
The higher the idle hours. Let me just say this: the old white car had close to, I want to say it was close to 6,000 idle hours on it, and if you did the math and calculated it out, that was close to 300,000 mile. Just if you were driving it, so the car, if I had 300,000 actual miles and the idle hours were close to 300,000, that car had closer to 600,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
So
where do you have a car that idles for 3,000 hours? I mean,
A car
Cruisers
sitting
were
in a
under the
lot
radar.
waiting for somebody to speed by.
yeah. So the old cop cars, because it was more efficient to leave them running, and all the equipment that they've got running and all the stuff, they've got bigger alternators in there. They've got a bigger battery. Some of them have 2 batteries to power all the equipment. It's just better to leave it running than it is to shut it off, because they've got all the radio equipment. They've got most police cruisers actually carry around a police repeater in their trunk. So the little 5-watt handhelds, actually go to the car first, and then the car will have the 100-watt radio that will actually go out to the bigger area. It's a redundancy thing, but they've got all this equipment and stuff that they can't really shut off. And if they shut it off, now there was right when they got the Ford Explorers, and you know how the new cars will shut off at a red light or whatever and then start up again and drive. Apparently Ford did not disable that feature for the cops, and it ended up killing a couple of police dogs because the AC stopped working. And they would pull the cruiser over, leave the dog in the car without thinking too much about it, but they would have the AC on. When the car shut off, the AC shut off, it gets too hot and killed the dogs.
Wow.
So, yeah, apparently that happened more than once. And Ford just finally disabled that feature for those cars because it's easier to disable that feature than it is to, you know. So
Pay the lawyers that are going to
uh,
handle lawsuits.
I mean, Ford is already trying desperately to get back into the police market. They don't need the problem. So
Yeah.
But yes, apparently when they originally brought those cars out to market, they pretty much gave them like a civilian model that did shut itself off. And so all their equipment would go dead too because it would shut it off.
So they cooked the dogs.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
Unfortunately.
That is terrible.
They always had, like, my car, if it sits for a half hour, there's a relay in it and it will turn off all the other equipment so that it doesn't kill the battery. They always had that. But that's one reason why cops sit in parking lots forever, not doing anything or running radar. They just run their cars constantly. It's just a constant thing. So they get very high idle hours, and very low actual miles. And yes, I have seen where somewhere along the line, probably after 2011, they started adding not only idle hours but actual hours of use instead of mileage to the odometer. So I have seen like the Ford Tauruses. They've got mileage, hours used, and idle hours. And I don't really know what the I don't know what they're trying to prove with hours used. It makes it sound like it's a fork truck or something. But so I also got my new keyboard that Steve helped me actually get working. that I'm still confused as to why the one system it worked just fine and the other not so much, but it doesn't matter. It works. So yeah, your UDIV rule, I forgot to email you back. It worked. That's what was the problem. That I cannot get it to work with what is that program?
Via?
No, it works with Via. The color thing. I forget what it's called.
QMK?
Hang on. Open RGB.
Never heard of it.
Well, apparently they support some Keychron keyboards, and this one that it's they support QM, whatever that is, QMK on some of them. I'm going to try to install their UDIV rules and see if it doesn't correct the problem, but it shows it does acknowledge the fact that the keyboard's plugged in. It just doesn't know what to do with it. And it may just be too new of a keyboard for him to actually know anything. But it's a nice keyboard. I'm very happy I bought this one. This one is everything that the other one should have been. For only a few dollars more.
So on Memorial Day or Sunday, I had my top monitor fall off my display again and topple down and knock all the monitors down on me. And the top one sliced the cord off my $100 and some Apple keyboard
Ooh.
and about break my finger.
Oh. That's
I'm
not good.
not a very happy camper.
So
Mm.
you need to earthquake yourself. Uh,
Well, and that's the strangest thing about it too, is I was sitting here, I watched it. It's like somebody just kicked it off the top of the rack, buddy, and it came down on me like a pile of bricks. And I mean, I don't know why it fell or nothing. I just finished eating a peanut butter and cracker, man. The whole thing just came down like an avalanche. And I don't know. That's the second time that monitor's done that.
You
It
you
was a
got
trap. You didn't see that string between that cracker and the monitor.
Something.
I was
Well,
going to say you got ghosts in the house? Ghost in the house.
that's, I mean, I was sitting here, I just finished chewing and I looked up and it just like the whole thing came tumbling down on me. And I grabbed what I could to keep it from mashing and everything. I was shocked that my Dell curved monitor didn't shatter because it knocked it flat and landed on it top of it.
Mm.
And it's whacked, man. And um, I don't know. It's weird. Next time, if I ever decide to put it up there again, it's gonna be on a metal rack bolted to it. Um, I'm done with all this pissant crap rigging. I bought a welder. It's like that was half the reason why I wanted to, is to build a monitor rack stand or whatever to attach all these to. But I still
Ye-
can't believe it literally sheared that cable in half, two parts.
Um, Gov deals, at least last week when I looked, they Sinclair Community College up in Dayton had a bunch of monitor stands.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like the
Eh.
multi-monitor stuff or just
It
regular
was
standard.
I think they were all three monitors per stand.
I'll take a look.
And they were selling them as a group. So
Yeah, they're probably
I,
gone already, but I'll look.
I thought I thought about it and I was like, that would be nice to have. And then you could turn around and sell the other ones and make your money back for what it cost for the one.
Yeah, I've just got a bunch of engineered aluminum stuff that I would rather it be built out of, but or just some bar stock or like tubing or something. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't trust the air shock crap and stuff like that.
Yeah, I had one that had that was it was a pretty nice stand. It had two monitors. It wasn't the three head. And I always thought, it would be nice if I had an extra monitor.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the cost of those stupid stands. I was like, nope, I will stick
Really?
with. Yeah. Well,
The 3-arm ones are considerably more expensive, but two arm ones, it's pretty cheap.
yeah, the two arms were okay, but this was also when we had the shop, so it was
Long ago when they
long
were
ago.
American
And,
made and very pricey.
and I went on eBay because I was like, we got these two head monitor stands relatively inexpensive, like 10 or $15. And I was like, oh my God, I am not paying that for three monitors. Nope, not worth it. I'll just have a monitor sitting next to it.
Trying to find the one I bought. What?
Yeah, you've got a dual head monitor behind you, don't you?
Yeah, and those are big monitors. Those are 27-inch curved something
Yeah.
or others. I've got the same set of arms. Those are cast aluminum.
That
Um, they're nice.
the when I bought mine from the auction, 15-inch monitors were probably the standard. So
Mhm.
I mean
They're
that
also
should that
CRT.
no,
were-
they were CRT.
Yeah, right.
But that
I
should
had
tell
to.
you how old they are.
Yeah.
Or were it 15 was they might have supported 17s, but God, they pretty small monitors by any stretch of the imagination, especially in today's world where everything's at least 21. Oh, but yes, I'm very happy with my keyboard. I don't really know what I want to program it to do, but I can change colors and make it do fancy things.
Well,
So,
that's cool.
and Steve, be prepared. Patty is already upset that I have bought 2 keyboards in a 2-week period of time. She said, next time I see Steve,
She should see my purchase history.
well, I said, she said, well, how much was that keyboard? $46. How much was the other one? $40. So we spent like $80 in keyboard. Yeah, we did. I gotta have a talk with Steve. I said, we gotta wait cheap. I mean, some of these keyboards are a
Yeah,
couple
I'm
$100 a piece.
hoping I can splice the wiring on mine back together.
I saw, yes, that would might not be fun though, Barry. You might have to open your keyboard up and unsolder what was there and solder it back. Have a shorter
Well,
cable.
I just figured I'd take where it's spliced because it's USB cables. Just cut off the head off another cord and
Splice it
and
in there. Kind of
yes,
like what I was thinking about doing with the camera, just
yeah.
to see if it worked. Yeah.
How many leads are in that cable?
Oh, like 4 or something. It's real fine wire. I haven't really looked yet. Yeah, my hand's still mashed and half my wrist is busted up. I haven't even cleaned up my desk from where it all knocked everything down yet.
Wow. So so you have no idea why it fell. It just decided that it didn't want to be there and fell.
It didn't want to be up there anymore, buddy, and it came off like somebody kicked it.
Hmm.
I said it knocked my 42-inch monitor in front of it over, and which took the side monitor on the other side, knocked the computer over and everything. It's crazy.
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
my dad heard all the crash. He came in here to help get it off me. And when he picked it up, it got about 2 foot away. Um the mount came off the monitor, so they dropped the monitor again. That's when it got my finger full bore. So it like took a big chunk out of my middle finger or whatever, and the whole knuckle's all black and blue.
Wow. Sorry.
Yeah, it's nothing to be sorry about. It just damn, it ain't fun. It's I said if I hadn't been watching it, I'd have been like, what the crap?
Come in there and go, why is that on the, why is all my stuff broken?
Yeah.
Uh, some,
Can you enable screen sharing?
oh, did I not do that? Sorry.
Issue?
Okay, you should Should be okay now.
So these are real close to what I've got. Mine are silver instead, but holds up to 22 pounds, which is a heck of a monitor.
Yeah.
Two different bases. I'm not sure why they're showing that, but you can clamp it around a table, or if you can drill a hole through, that goes through the thing. It holds big monitors, and there's a trough on the bottom of these. These are $50 a wait. No, weird. So black is $50. White is 63 for some reason. It's the same thing. You can spray paint them if you want. But it's very adjustable. It's adjustable for the weight. It's got a little screw control that I don't know how it works, but adjusts how much lift you've got, and you can balance them out pretty well. Two of them for $100, and now you can have 4 monitors.
The one I had its own base, so it didn't clamp to the desk.
Well, it had to do some. Oh, okay, I know it. Yeah, I had some from Dell that had a huge base on them. They took up a lot of real estate. This doesn't.
It took up less real estate than having 2 monitors sitting on your desk, but it was still significant enough that yes, you knew it was there. But
I'm pretty happy with these. And there's plenty of them in that price range.
Yeah, but see, mine really did not have all that articulation either. It was very much a monitor stand. You
More
adjust
like
it to, yeah, more like that. Yeah.
Then that one's $30.
Yeah.
That'll do 2 screens up to 32-inch each.
Yeah.
That doesn't let you rotate, I don't think.
No, you can adjust it. You can adjust it up and down, and you could pull them in and out a little, but you don't get all that extra. It's what, 2 degrees of freedom, 3 degrees of freedom.
Yeah.
And the other stands are like 6 degrees of freedom or something.
It looks like that one you could put 2 rows of monitors on if you had the post tall enough in the center.
Yeah.
So if you go on Gov Deals, you can find them. Police departments use them in their comm center, and they will have 8 monitors attached to these things.
I did a job down at I don't know, Cincinnati, someplace that was doing stocks. Some guy had a 3x3 array on his desk, 9 monitors on one stand. I have no idea what that set them back, but it was not cheap. The top ones were curved down, and this guy's job was to watch stock prices go up and down all day long.
We bought.
I suspect he could cover the tariff.
Have you guys ever seen the people that do World of Warcraft botting?
No.
See if I can find a screenshot of that.
I like the ones that the support teams for SpaceX and NASA and so forth run, where they've got this array of screens, and of course their budget's a little different than mine, but
yeah. We had bought a whole bunch of really nice. They were probably $400 plus chairs from Lebanon, Ohio, 911 comm center. And these chairs were designed for people to sit for 8 hour plus. They were extremely nice. But when we went into the comm center to pick the chairs up, they showed us around. They were very proud of the new comm center that they had got. And there was at least probably 20 or 30 monitors, not on one stand, but I mean, they were everywhere. They're just monitors surrounding the entire room, surrounding the entire comm center. They were watching everything. They had traffic cameras up. They had GPS tracking of where all the officers were. They had streaming information from fire calls, and they could monitor everything from the entire area. It was an amazing place.
So they didn't do multiple sub screens within an individual screen?
They had some sort of special software. So there was a main screen that they were looking at, and if there was something over on one of the other screens, they could pull it down into the main screen so they could watch it, but it was still up on this screen, so they could just kind of so other dispatchers could still see the information as needed. And it was just a surround. It was like you walked in and it was 360 degrees of monitors and 7 or 8 dispatchers just sitting around radios and these monitors. And I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, at some point you become saturated as a human being. You can only watch so much stuff. It's like a console on a plane, you know, you can only watch so many gauges at a time.
Yep, that's kind of how the comm center was, Barry. Only it was bigger. It was they had like 3 rows of monitors. Oh, hi, Vicente.
Hi, hello.
Hey there.
So, what's going on, Vicente? We haven't seen you in a couple weeks.
And we have a wedding, my son, my little one. So the town is full of people, visitors, and was very busy.
Yeah.
Well, I was planning to be in the last one, but at the last minute, I was in downtown with the people and was impossible.
Yeah.
So
all right.
you did this locally, or this you had to go out of town for this?
What?
The wedding was local or was out of town?
No, it was to the north of Lebanon,
Ah.
here in Ohio. In the country was nice, was very beautiful. So the problem was the people that came, that you need to be with them and go places and show places here in Cincinnati. So I'll be busy until on Tuesday, next Tuesday, a little bit. But now I'm free.
Yeah.
What's going on? I read that you had trouble with something in the last meeting with the computer.
My webcam
Okay.
is dead.
Well,
It's
the same happens to my webcam. I had to reset Windows and put another one. And now it's working. I don't know what happened.
this one, well, it died. I did all the troubleshooting steps and it just does not exist anymore. It's dead. So I'm using my old computer.
Sometimes it's the driver, or I don't know.
This problem, this isn't the driver. The BIOS, the diagnostic tool, doesn't even recognize the fact that
Don't see
there's
it, okay.
no. I
Well,
opened.
my problem with Windows is that it doesn't see it. I don't know what happened.
Well, I opened up the machine uh to see if the cable was bad or whatever, and it looked good, but I pulled it apart and blew out the dust, and uh it's just dead. So
What's the make and model?
uh it's the Dell Inspiron 24, but I forget what the actual model
I
is.
think it's easy to find, you know.
Dell,
Maybe in eBay or
yeah.
somewhere else.
Well, a replacement camera for it will cost me $70, and I'm not going to spend $70 on a camera.
Okay. But you can find a used one maybe in eBay, because there is plenty of Dell machines
But
everywhere. You know?
I work with plenty of Dell machines. If you tell me if you want to tell me the Dell part number on it,
the part number, oh, I had that too. I don't
I
remember
can then
where that
find
is.
out what it is and compare that to our list of stuff at work.
Yeah.
If I can find anything that they've gotten rid of in the last 3 months,
Yeah.
it'll be in a pile.
All right, I'll get that, because I don't remember. I don't think I took a picture of. I don't think I took a picture of the part number. I pulled the camera out and I was considering. Yeah, I didn't take a picture of the part number. I was considering chopping the cable off and putting a USB cable on it and seeing if it would work, but because that would prove if it was the motherboard or if it was the camera.
Don't give me the model number of the camera. Give me the serial number of the computer itself.
Oh, okay. That's on the back of the computer.
Yeah.
I'll have to take that down again. Holy cow, Barry.
Yeah, there's a
Jesus.
guy, 24 box in World of Warcraft.
That
That's
doesn't look like World of Warcraft. Those are graphs.
Yeah,
That's
I know,
a-
this is DPS charts for his characters. He's
Ah,
probably
okay.
running a key command controller to operate the other ones and just monitoring that they're functioning right. I remember there was another dude that had like I think it was Eve Online or EverQuest Raid or something where he like 72 manned different machines, and it had
Jeez.
like 19 monitors or something. I can't find it now. But
What are you guys looking at?
In the chat, there's two pictures.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's 24 monitors.
yeah.
That
is crazy.
that is almost
Those are actually pretty small monitors. Those are all like 15 or 16-inch monitors.
Yeah. But when you're driving 24 characters, you just need to point and click. Everything dies pretty quick.
Yeah.
Let's try this again. No.
Yeah, but that's 24 mages on EverQuest. That's what it is on the server Megler. There's a whole article on it.
For some reason, I can't share the picture. That's weird.
It's already shared.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's still. I should have just been able to click on the picture and share it though. Share it again.
There's
But-
the article if anybody wants to read it. It's on a forum.
That second picture almost, not really, almost makes the comm center look bad. The comm center had more monitors. They were they were organized a bit differently too, but they had a like 360-degree around the comm center.
Yeah. I don't know. This might be Bitcoin mining the way this one guy's talking about. They're bitchy like, damn, Bitcoin's down. Um, yeah, some people have built some crazy computer rigs though, man. I wish I had the one that was the guy had a really big rig of Eve monitors when I quit playing a few years back. A lot like that. But it was all on like a engineered aluminum bracket, and he just had the whole wall of the room was monitors, and then his desk sat back like 3 feet, so he had like 5 levels of monitors, like 5 rows each. It was nuts.
I think and here I am thinking that having 4 monitors is good enough. What am I thinking?
You know, I went and wired a guy's network about a year ago, I guess, or he didn't know how to do some stuff in networking, and he his programming rig, he designs boards, circuit boards or something for where he works, and does a lot of programming. And I mean, he had like a monitor like I got, but it was turned sideways. Then the only reason I have this is Buddy gave it to me, and then he had his like couple 36 inches and another one above it and everything. I was like, holy crap. You take like one of these 42 inches and turn it on its side so you could see all the source code or the log file or whatever scrolling on that screen. It's kind of slick. I'd kind of like to do it, just don't have the monitors or the mounting.
Yeah.
But I like that. One they have at Micro Center. It's like freaking $1,800.
Micro Center has nothing that's worth $1,800 in a monitor.
Well, I didn't say it was worth it. I think it would be a neat monitor to have that it's a little taller. That's what I don't like about these like real wide ones is aren't tall, but that one pack is kind of, but they have it on display where it's standing on its side. So it's like horizontal and it goes up and down. It's like a 40 something inch. It's a little overkill. But if you turn it normal and if you were playing like a video game, it'd be kind of cool because it's a kind of a wraparound.
Marla's is one of the wraparounds, not full wrap. Oh, I think I know the one you mean. That super wide Dell. It's like 5 feet by a foot tall.
Yeah, something like that. It's got like a real big curve in it. They got it sitting
Yeah.
against the wall near the servers. The TVs are behind it.
Yeah, I know the one you mean. Still not worth it.
Yeah, I think it's crazily overpriced. I think I would enjoy playing video games on it.
That
Samsung 49-inch 4K 5120 by 1440 curved screen monitor. Only available for in-store pickup. You know, they're still crazy. Yeah, that's only $700.
I say I don't think it's a Samsung. It's got a lot bigger curve in it.
So what is the radius of curvature anyway? Is it like 6 feet or 8 feet or what?
Some of them are less than that. These two sitting behind me, radius on those is probably 4 feet, 4.5 maybe.
So they're really curved then. You're talking about. I was in the flat screen business for a while. And I gotta tell you, thinking about manufacturing those is a little overwhelming to say the least.
Well, it's, I think it's crazy that they even make them. They are kind of neat.
So that camera, that's not the right one.
No,
Yeah. Oh, here.
Oh, here we go.
Wow.
That's $2,500.
Oh,
So is that just the same one turn 90 degrees?
Mhm.
Yeah. That's the one.
are we going to not only be crazy keyboard people, but also now be crazy monitor people?
Now I'll stick with my keyboards.
If I had a couple Bitcoin,
So it's an XPS 701X or 2.5. Okay. I'll see if I can find that.
That's more or less what my camera looks like.
Oh,
what?
It's not the same. This isn't the right camera either. My
What is this slide thing?
it's in the my all-in-one machine.
oh, that rises up out of the top.
It
Nice.
rises up out of the top.
Okay.
This basically, when I pulled it out of the machine to look at it, it basically looks like a high-end Logitech camera that's probably been rebranded and reflashed with some weird Dell thing so that it shows up as a Dell camera. But it's got real tiny finicky wires right there in the
Of
connector.
course.
And that's what I thought might have gone bad.
whoops.
I don't have the part number. This actually might be the same camera.
The camera moves up and down, right?
Yep.
Maybe something breaking the cable somewhere, flexing. This is the back.
Mike Center
That might actually be the same camera. I'll have to get the part number.
has $1,200 off on it right now on that monitor.
You can eat salad in this monitor. You can use as a bowl.
Yeah.
What's the size? Diagonal
Holy.
size.
54.6 inch.
Wow. And you need to be inside, close to it to feel that it's flat for your field of view,
I have no idea.
to feel that everything is like flat.
Wrapping around you.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a couple of them?
No. I can't even imagine one. That would take up my entire room.
I would think that would make you sick to your stomach to
I will it. And the wallet also.
And my wallet. Patty already doesn't want to see what the car will cost to get fixed. Can you imagine if I spent $2,000 on a monitor? She's already mad that I spent $80 on keyboards. $2,000 on a monitor, I would have to like live inside the damn thing.
Well, that's what I say. You just knock somebody off that's got a, Bitcoin or something.
Wow.
I was reading an article this week because I was curious what Bitcoin was at, and I guess somebody managed to recover some lost coins or something like that.
Yeah, that was a good article.
Missed that one.
They were mine.
Yeah, so the fellow contacted this group of people and said, "Can you recover this?" And he was using a thing to generate passwords that had a predictable output based on the date. So they just generated a whole bunch of days worth and started trying them.
Okay.
I'm curious how many coins are actually lost to the ether because the people lost their accounts.
I have an old 2013 tablet that I have some Bitcoins on that I probably $20 worth, maybe. But
You might be surprised what it's worth now. If it was plural coins, you're looking at grand.
it wasn't even coin. It wasn't even close to a coin. A coin. It was close to, I don't remember what it was, 0.00001 something. I know last time I looked, it was like worth about $20. But I have no idea how to get it off of the tablet because that tablet is dying. So there will be some money lost there somewhere.
Yeah, I got like 1,700 burst coin. But I don't see that ever climbing.
I had what was that stuff called? The Raspberry Pi could mine it, and the ESP32 could mine it. And I actually had quite a bit of it just because I left the Raspberry Pi on all the time, so it just sat there and made it. But that stuff never was worth anything. It always was worth like pennies. But I've got thousands of them. I might have $1. Definitely was. It was a CPU miner back in the day, and it definitely was not worth actually mining. But so you're probably curious about these little things I've been playing with.
The happy cats.
Oh, it's turning green. That's neat. So
Yeah. Change color.
so the camera thinks. So this filament
Now
is
purple.
called silk,
Okay.
and it's 3 colors. There's a tricolored filament, and it is the biggest pain in the butt to make work, period. So one of the grandkids is having a birthday next month, and she wanted me to print 20 dragons. So she wanted nicely colored dragons, not just
Flat one.
flat
Leroy.
dragon.
While they're evil, those are not dragons.
Exactly. These were my test prints. See, they bought some silk because she thought that looked pretty.
Yeah.
And you can't really tell, but there are definitely some imperfections that have happened because it just wasn't right. But it turned out pretty good considering. But when I tried to print the dragon, I could not get it to adhere to the bed. I couldn't get the raft to adhere to the bed. I couldn't get the temperature right. It either was going to stick or it wasn't. And at one point, it acted like the bed wasn't level, which I know full well that the bed is level. I was up, let's see, that was last night before. I was up until 5 o'clock in the morning. I probably tried 20 different times to get a single dragon to even start, to even get the base layer down. I was like, well, why did the Happy Cat print? Why can't I print? Happy Cat printed just fine. Well, not fine, but then I had to print this one just to prove that this one failed. If you actually if you hold them in your hand and you actually look, you can see just how bad this one actually is. It looks pretty good on the camera, but
Yeah, it does.
there are definitely
Yeah, I do see that backbone there.
In the back there is like a
Yeah.
line.
and you can't really see it, but there is a huge chunk right down in here. It printed, and at first glance it looks fine, but once and the overhang where the hand is, where it's green, there's a little red overhang right there, which doesn't exist on.
The real.
There's no overhang there. So I had to print this just to prove that my bed was actually level and that I was like, oh. So I ended up printing another white dragon for the same reason, just to prove that I'm not insane, and I could. I used all my white filament up printing dragons and Happy Cats. But new filament, monocolor filament is supposed to be showing up sometime today, and I could start printing her 20 dragons for her birthday party. And you know what she wants to do with these dragons? She wants to give them to all her friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 hours a print.
Ooh.
Change the scale. Make them smaller.
So that's just the dragon file that I found actually is too big for the print bed. It was actually meant for a bigger printer. So I already scaled it down, and it's still 5 hours. And I tried to scale it down even further, and she said, that's going to be too small. I don't like that. Yeah, but it's 2 hours instead of 5. 2 hours. I figure it took to get 6. I had already used some of the filament up, but to get 6 of these dragons that she wants, it took almost a whole roll of filament.
Wow.
So I'm thinking she wants 20 dragons. It's going to take about 4 rolls of filament.
Reduce the infill to the minimum.
Do what?
The infill, you can change that to make it lighter or with.
I wish I had a dragon here. There's not much infill to it anyway. It's 15%, and there's not really much infill. The dragons they're articulated, so they need some infill, but yeah. The things you do for grandkids, right?
Yep.
Everything almost.
But I figure if I could get just barely get 6 out of the roll that I had, I figure I'm going to need at least 3 and probably 4 rolls to get 20 of them.
How expensive are those rolls?
Well, that's the good thing. Her mom is buying the rolls, but they're about $20 a piece. So
Oh, okay. So somebody else is picking up the tab. I got it.
I'm paying the electric ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm putting the time in to do it. So
Yeah.
but yes, somebody is actually paying the actual cost of.
Do you want to borrow another printer?
Well, I've got the 3 here. I don't know that I can do I don't know if I've got room for another one. But I've got 3 that are set up ready to go. That was what I was making sure that the one that I haven't used in over a year actually still worked and stuff. and I tried the silk on 2 of the different printers, and silk is just such a pain. I Googled it and I read some forum stuff about it, and basically everybody says, yes, it's a pain, but once you figure it out, it makes really nice prints. And they were saying that even though settings work for one print, you might have to completely change the settings for something else when you're using silk. And I'm like, yep. Yep, figuring out the right settings is not something I want to do when I'm got 20 of these things to print and it's going to take 5 hours at a time to do it. Spending 5 hours a couple nights ago just trying to hone in what was going on was long enough for me.
You need to ask Ray. You can use 4 machines at the race place, and
You know what we need is the 4 machines at Ray's place and have a robot arm come along and knock the prints off.
okay.
So it just restarts. Heck, Ray has 10 machines. Let's do all of it all at once.
2 runs done shortly.
2 runs, 10 hours. We're good. That's not a horrible idea, actually.
Yeah,
You're gonna have her invite less people to the party.
Well, I keep telling her. So she had ordered this off of Amazon, and of course it showed up. But I keep telling her we need to really start. I really need to start printing these things. The party's soon.
I think you must at least ask him to borrow a couple.
Yeah.
because you won't have time to make mistakes, you know, and
Well, yes. I I have printed enough of the dragons in just monocolor filament now. I'm fairly confident that there shouldn't be a problem with those, but yeah, you're right. I probably need to go and talk to Ray. Ray's a little closer.
Yeah.
Ray's a little closer than Steve.
Well, if he's in town.
Well, if he's not in town, I'll just talk to his kid. They're Aiden's printers anyway. They're not Ray's. Ray may have bought them, but they belong to his kid.
you can use the makerspace also, the library, to make a couple.
Yeah. There are some options.
You
The
will- you will pay-
makerspace. The
you will pay-
makerspace is usually pretty busy though.
Yeah,
How many 3D printers do they have there in the library?
Where are they up to?
yeah, many. I think.
At least 6.
I was thinking maybe 10, but yeah, somewhere between 6 and 10. But those things never seem like they stop. They seem like they always have something printing on them too.
Right?
I don't know when they have time to print demo prints. But yes, it's been a fun week. Oh.
Hmm?
Cool.
No.
Hey. Nice. Nice and simple.
I have not I've only tested it out on the workbench, but that's, you remember the neural network thing that I did with the time of flight sensors
Mhm.
that was based on somebody else's stuff, and that's probably been, I don't know, year and a half ago maybe. I moved it back over to ultrasonics again and put it on a different platform. It's all M5 stuff except for the chassis.
Uh-huh.
And seems like it's working, but it also seems like it's might be a little flaky. I probably need to tune it a little bit better. But I might be able to test this out a little bit more this week and get a video of it doing something.
Great.
I've just got, I put sticky back tape on the ultrasonics and just mounted it to the wheels or mounted it to the motors.
Nice. Yeah.
Seems to work. So that has been my fun for the week. Trying to print dragons and play robots and play with new keyboards. And have you seen the 8-bit do Commodore keyboard?
Mm-hmm.
I was seriously almost ready to buy that.
Oh my God.
I have read really good things about that keyboard. See, I am turning into a crazy keyboard person.
Is Bluetooth? No, no. Retro mechanical keyboard. This one?
Oh.
Okay.
Yep.
That's it. Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
And I just it's a really nice looking keyboard. It's got the little divots in it like the C64. I would have loved to have seen the function keys over here on the side, like the C64 had.
Yeah.
You know, a whole row of. They could have easily just made this thing out to be a real retro C64.
I can have it overnight in Amazon at 7 a.m.
$109.
Isn't that bad?
And it comes with a joystick and some sort of buttons.
You can choose a cheaper one, $89.99. What's that? Different color or what?
That is a different layout
Or without the
without the Commodore. They've got one that also looks like an N6. This one looks like the N64 or NES.
or all are wireless, or you have an option?
I think it could be wired, Bluetooth, or wireless.
USB-C. Yeah.
But this one comes with the buttons. It doesn't come with the joystick. The Commodore one comes with the joystick and the buttons. It's a sharp looking keyboard. And I have read good things about it online. But you really gotta love Commodore.
You don't need it.
I don't need it. Or be a crazy keyboard person.
So you can connect it in the real Commodore or what?
No.
How you use it? It's just for your computer.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I give you 7 days.
Okay.
yeah, now that I've found it, it's in the wish list.
Oh my God.
So if you want to waste a little bit more money,
What?
the C64 keycap set.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay. And they ooh. And how much
Doesn't
is
mean it does that. They're just on there. 32 bucks. 33 bucks.
$33?
Okay.
But
All the fun stuff.
well, for another $5, I could get a C64 Mini again.
Yeah.
They were $44 or $45.
I think I've got probably 15 sets of keycaps right now, maybe a few more. We don't talk about that here.
So Patty wanted to know what the difference was between the keyboard that I bought from Micro Center, the Micro Center keyboard, and this Keychron keyboard. And I said, well, other than you know, the obvious that there are actually RGBs in there, I could completely change this. It could be anything I want it to be. If I want different keys, I could just swap them out. If I want a different feel when I'm typing, I could just swap it out.
Kind of like
Not do what?
dice for it's kind of like dice for D&D people.
Yeah. Not telling her that all that extra costs probably as much as the keyboard itself. The other keyboard, the one from the Inland brand. I mean, I could swap keycaps, but it wasn't hot swappable switches. So that means desoldering 87 keys, and that does not sound fun. This one came with the puller and all that, and it came with a black set of escape, enter, and spacebar. It did not come with an alternate for the alternate key though. Ooh, what's that one?
That
Oh,
is more expensive.
okay.
Vic 20.
So it's $70. That's from Drop.
Okay.
Drop can be scary. Oh wait, this might not be Drop. Duh. Spykeyboards.com.
So that's
$70.
so that's just the key set. The
Yep. Yeah.
oh, I like it. I don't want to spend that much.
One of the interesting things on this, it comes with two F and J keys. One has the little bar on the bottom.
Uh-huh.
The others just have a deeper divot, which I really like.
Okay. The original C60, I always found that one to be easy to type on. So, oh, we got a GovDeals link in the chat.
In Paducah.
What are we GovDealing?
Dodge Charger at 4,500.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's going to go up a wee bit more than that, I'll bet. That's got the divider in it too.
Wouldn't bank on it.
Uh,
The ones without the dividers are the ones that went up to 8,000. So some of this stuff's been going really low, and they've had a bunch of them. So
110K.
I have a mechanical for 25.
oh. What is this?
I don't know.
Oh. Having bought a cheap mechanical keyboard, I would say you probably don't want to do that.
Yep.
No, it wasn't a horrible experience, but it wasn't.
Backlight, right?
I knew almost immediately that I wanted a better keyboard. I mean, as soon as I plugged it in and started actually typing on it, I was like, I like this keyboard, but no. Oh, here we go. So I will share my screen. Share the screen. This is in New Philadelphia. And
Crown Vic.
yeah, look at that beauty. It's a little drive, but New Philadelphia.
I'm not sure where New Philadelphia is, but I'm assuming it's a good little bit.
It is Pennsylvania, almost Pennsylvania. It's about 2.5, 3 hours away. Now I was looking at, this one went significantly up in price. When I saw this one a couple days ago, it was only at $1,200. That's another couple 100 mile away down in Mount Vernon.
With the lights still.
Yeah. Which you almost immediately have to take off. It also has a CB radio and the control for the lights, which I think this was the one that said it was being used by the fire department and had just been removed from service. Yeah, the light bars are red because it was being used by the fire department.
It might not make you take that one off, do they?
Yeah, you unless you're a volunteer, you cannot have red lights.
Well, put green on it.
Yeah,
Slap some green tape around it. Nobody will know the difference.
they'll never know. You know, you could get away with it for a couple of days, but eventually somebody will.
Well, I was gonna say if you put yellow tape around it so the light's green.
There you go. Amherst, that's new. I don't know where Amherst is. Oh, good golly, why would anybody spend that much on that car? This car says that it's been sitting for over a year.
In Hamilton.
And it's in Hamilton. And I looked at it and went, I would give them $500, but I've already experienced a car that's been sitting for a while. I don't need another problem.
So the interior looks pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know where Amherst is. This one, I don't think I saw this one. $600. It's just that if they, that looks rough.
Yeah.
If they've been sitting for a while, stuff just stops working. Oh, that's rough.
A lot of rust there.
A lot of rust. And not rust in the normal rusty spots. And 132,000 miles. Yeah, $600. Sounds like a good price for that car. You see, police departments are still using them. Electric departments, places are still using them because they're just good cars. Scrap. So some of them I was looking at have already closed. There were 2 or 3 more that I was looking at, but there was let's see if I can find it. There was a Ford Taurus police that was in Moraine, I think.
You say Lorraine or Moraine?
Moraine.
I don't know where that is.
It's north of me, not far. Um, it's probably 7, 8 miles, maybe from me.
Oh, so it's really local. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty close. You know where the Dayton Mall is?
Have no idea.
Okay. Centerville. It's near Centerville.
Okay.
Um, kinda near Centerville. Okay. Why can't? What is it doing now? It's a sharp looking car. It's not exactly a Crown Vic, but
What is that on the front of it?
that probably said 911 or
No, I'm
I
talking
think he
about
means the
on,
brush guard.
oh
Yeah.
yes, the push bar.
The deer remover.
oh, really?
Yeah. That probably had a unit number or 911 on it or something. It's a pretty sharp looking car though overall.
Yeah, it is.
Still has the cage. Does not have any of the control stuff. Yep. See, there was a unit number that they didn't quite get off on that side.
It looks to me like there's some kind of damage.
This
Just back of whatever that sign was on there. Right there on the edge of the fender. Up there you go.
It looks like when they removed whatever was here, they pulled paint off of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that piece is plastic on the bottom. It's steel above, but
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like I don't know what would have been here. I don't know what marking would have been there, but it looks like when they pulled it back, they just pulled the paint off. But this side looks like it's a little flared out. If you look.
You sure that's not just the angle they've taken a shot from?
No.
Excuse
no,
me.
I'm not sure. See, it looks like they did the same thing over here though. When they pulled off whatever this sticker was, it got down into the fender. And whatever was there, that they probably pulled kind of looks like they pulled the light off of it. But it's not a bad looking car. I have seen far, far worse coming across Gov Deals. And a civilian model of the Ford Taurus. So 2018 for $1,900. See, that's one to watch. That's one to keep an eye on. So, oh wow, it's 7:00, guys.
it's 7 o'clock.
Almost.
Yeah, we did it.
I am fairly sure that we are in person next week. I still, hopefully I will have my car back. Hopefully I will be able to get down there, but I'll let everybody know what my current status would be. We should take the room though, because they don't give them up too easy. So, basically I'm in flux a little bit, but I will hopefully see everybody next week.
Okay.
If you need a ride, let me know.
Okay. I will let everybody know what's going on.
Okay.
So
Nice.
Cool.
I will see everybody
See you
later.
next week.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
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 I'm working on it. Bye.